Well, hey everybody, it's me, Mama of Many Trades. Going to show you something a little different today. I want to talk a little bit about a really yummy fruit that I discovered that's native here in central Indiana where I live. It's called pawpaws. I actually grew up in Indiana and I did not realize that this was a native tree, and I had never even heard of it until recently. So I'm standing by a pawpaw tree right now. You can see what the leaves look like here. They're pretty large. And then this is the pawpaw fruit. These fruits are quite large compared to what some of them are. This particular one is a cluster of 3. I'm going to turn the camera around better. So you see the fruit hangs from the trees here, and then often you'll find them laying on the ground because they do blow off the tree pretty easily. So here's a little bit smaller one laying on the ground. They do bruise very easily, as you can see. Here's another one. So there's a nice picture of the differences in sizes you can get with them. So what I'll do today for you is I'm going to make pawpaw bread. So I'm going to pick some of these off the tree and get them in the house, and then I'll show you kind of what to do from there and talk a little bit more about the flavor. Thanks for watching. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to talk loud because it's pretty windy out here today. I've got a few of my pawpaws sitting here that I'm going to cut open for you. I try to pick the ones that seem to have the most bruises or seem the softest. So similar to an avocado, when you give a soft squeeze to a pawpaw, if it gives just a little bit, then it is ripe and ready to eat. If it's real firm and bright green, it probably needs a day or two to ripen on the counter, or a week or so in the fridge. These are all very ripe. You can see this one's pretty yellow, although you might not be able to see that in the sun very well. But if they're bright green, they're not quite ready. So the way I do this is I just take a regular straight edge knife and I cut it in half lengthwise. My knife's kind of dull here. Okay. And then just like an avocado, I twist it and there's the inside. You can see, unlike an avocado, pawpaws have several seeds in them that have to be removed, which is why you don't often find them, because they are a little bit more difficult to manage. You've got a lot more seeds to remove and they're a lot more delicate fruit. So what I do is then I take my knife and I pretty much just pluck out the seeds. You don't want to eat the seeds of a pawpaw. That's not good for you. So I pluck out those seeds one at a time. And sometimes they're covered with a little bit of the fruit, and I will try to scrape a little bit of that off. Depends on how many you have. If you don't need to, scrape off every little piece of fruit off the seed, I wouldn't mess with it. I would just pop these seeds out like I'm doing right here. And then you've got the fruit, which looks like this. I already did some of these, so here's my bowl it's got the fruit in it from others I've done. Now I take my spoon, and it should be very soft if it's ripe. And I spin my spoon around the fruit, and I just pluck it out and stick it in my container. Scrape a little bit of that out, and that's it. And then I take the next half, and there's a few seeds in this one too. So this particular one had, I don't know, it looks like 7 to 8 seeds in it. A smaller one, like this one, might only have 4 or 5 seeds. But either way, there's going to be a lot of seeds. I opened one yesterday, and I think it had about 15 seeds in it. And it was a very large one, but boy, was it a pain. So just kind of be prepared that it's going to take a little bit of labor to enjoy the fruit. So again, I'm just kind of taking my spoon. I'm being careful not to get any of the skin, because the skin you're also not supposed to eat. And I just pop it right here in my container. And I did want to just kind of show you. Let me try this for you. So it's a really unique flavor. Reminds me a little bit of a mango flavor, but it's got the texture of a soft banana or a really soft avocado. Um, it's kind of an acquired taste. I like it really well. I like it more the riper it is. When they're a little bit green, I don't enjoy it as much. So you really want to make sure they're ripe in order to use them. So I'm going to continue to cut and scoop out all the fruit out of the rest of my pawpaws. And at the end of this video, I hope to have some pawpaw bread to show you. So that's kind of my goal here. So I'll catch you back in the kitchen when I get all these done, and we'll go to the next step. Okay, I'm back over here in the kitchen. I've got my hair pulled back so I can bake. I finished up with all of my pawpaw nectar, which I put over here in the fridge. So let's get that out. I've got about 3 cups here of the pawpaw fruit that I was able to get out of probably around 12 pawpaws. So it takes quite a few to get what you need to bake with. So anyway, I'm using just a good banana bread recipe, and I'm just substituting the pawpaw fruit for banana, or in place of banana. So I've got all my ingredients over here. I've got my pans ready to go. I do use a mix of wheat and white flour. Whenever it calls for flour, I do half and half just for a little extra nutrition. So I'm going to get busy putting this together, and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm all done with the bread. I've put it in my 3 half loaf pans here, and I'm going to throw it in the oven for about 45 minutes on 350, and then I'll get back to you on how it turns out. If you want to go ahead and look at the recipe, I'll put that in the comments, in the notes below, so go ahead and check that out if you want to give it a try. Okay, my bread is done, and I just whipped up a very simple glaze to drizzle over the top just to give it a little extra fun flavor. I'll put that recipe in the comments as well. So I'm just going to take my glaze, I'm going to pick it up, and I'm just going to drizzle it over the top of the bread. Not pretty, just delicious. Okay, and I'll finish doing that on my other 2 half loaves. The recipe that I did made 3 half loaves of bread, and you can see it looks great, and I guarantee it tastes great too. So good luck if you decide to give it a try. I hope it's delicious.